So at the beginning of the year, around March, I lost my job. I was a federal worker, um, working for the Postal Service. When Trump first started that coming after the government workers or whatever, um, back then at the beginning of the year, they were cleaning house and letting a lot of people go, using it as an excuse that wasn't what was going on, but they were. Now, I didn't fight for my job. So to me, I let it go. I did let it go. And the reason why I did so was I had just got to a point where I was really already, I was done. Like, I was feeling like very drained, very lost, just very not myself for a long while. And I was doing that job for like 7 to 8 years. And even before that, I've always held a job, always working at least 2 jobs. And I had just gotten to a point where my inner self, my inner knowing, my inner calling was like knocking on the door, and I just couldn't take giving my energy away to a job that was draining me any longer and not allowing me to fulfill my soul. I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate, where we work these jobs, these 9 to 5s, so to speak, and we are building capital for someone else, and we give our all to these jobs, and then we go home, we're tired, we might have a relationship, we eat, we watch TV. It's like a cycle that is like never ending, because it's not fulfilling, it's not soul fulfilling, it's not soul evolving. And that's part of what the matrix does. It gets you to focus so externally so that you're so cut off from your source nature, from your source being. But me, I'm not someone that is cut off from their source nature. So for me, it's like death when I choose or I get caught up within the matrix for long periods of times. I can't stay in illusion for long periods of times. There are many that can do that, and that's because they don't know that this is not the way it's supposed to go. They don't know that this is not the way we should be orchestrating our lives. Many of us come here with missions. We have soul work to do. We have things to fulfill, and the matrix is good at getting you distracted, good at getting you caught up, good at having you choose to cut yourself off from your true nature. They give you so many external things that bombard you with not being able to really tap into your inner being and hear your inner voice. So that being said, for some of us, it's like death. It's soul wrenching. And I was just getting to the point where I could just feel it. It's time for a change. It's time for me to go within. Something was calling me, something deeper, something bigger than me. And, when the time came that what happened with my job, I was just like, it was a blessing in disguise. And I just decided, I said, you know what, I am going to let it go. Now, to be honest, it was scary because we're trying to survive, and nobody wants to be on the streets. And all of these fear programs within you, they start to rise, and they rose within me. And they rose within me for a long time. It wasn't the first time that I wanted to walk away from my job, but the moment came, it was the right time. I did so. And I trusted in my own inner capability, and I trusted in source, that I would be able to land where I needed to. That was more important to me at that time. Depression had already built up. So I took it to that extent, and I let the job go. I was living off of my savings. I was also getting unemployment. And the plan was to focus on my artwork, or just focus in an area, my spiritual work, with my gifts, focus in an area that was fulfilling to my soul. I no longer wanted to be a part of the matrix and empowering the systemic grids the way I was doing, having them siphon my energy, and just me just losing touch with myself, going in this endless loop and spiral where, I couldn't where I'm just not fulfilling what I came here to do. So that was my thing. Now, it didn't work out the way I had planned, because I did not know that by me choosing that, and then it was the catalyst for me really going within, then I was able to peel back the matrix this year, all of the layers entirely, and I was able to see things for what it truly was. And after I had did that, these beings, they came after me for 2.5 to 3 months. They attacked me like nonstop. They put me through assimilation programs. They did things to my body. They tried to hijack me at one point. They tried to place me under, back to sleep so many different times. During the process also too, in July, I lost my mother. I wasn't even able to grieve the way I wanted to, because of what I was going through. And like I said in one of my other videos, I had to have a certain type of demeanor and way about me to like focus and navigate and get through what I was going through. So I couldn't even grieve my mother. And even the night that she had passed, I didn't know fully, but people kept calling my phone, like family members, all manners of family members. And I didn't answer, because I was going through so much phenomena. And at the time, I was also able to touch base with my own spiritual team. And I was communicating with them during this process as well. And, this whole process of everything I went through was something that I was supposed to go through at the time. And they had advised me also too not to answer the phone. I wasn't aware that, my mother had passed, but I thought maybe something had happened. But it was just the fact that all of the beings, the parasitic entities that had been like attacking me during this whole process, like they all came into my room at, a certain time. And they just kept messing with me that whole night, just trying to get me to answer the phone. Now all of this was a siphon grab. So understand, this is why my spiritual team told me, advised me not at the time to answer the phone, because it was a siphon grab. These beings knew that my mother had passed, obviously. And I was, through this whole spiritual warfare process, I was holding it together. I was getting through it to the best of my capability. And I wasn't allowing them to take me over. So they was always trying new tactics to try to, hook me, tether to me, attach to me, siphon me, things of that nature. So at that time that night, if I would have answered the phone and one of my siblings told me my mother had passed, I probably would have broken down emotionally. And that was something that they wanted to siphon and garner that emotional wreck energy from me, And when I tell you, they all came in my room and just like hovered and prodded me and placed things on me and did all these different things and just trying to annoy me. When I would try to go to sleep, through the process, they would do something to jolt me awake, and it was a lot. So I wasn't sleeping well for those 3 months. I wasn't functioning too much with the outside world that much. I was just trying to navigate this to the best of my ability, and I was learning about all of the things that they do to us and they do to our bodies. So I had to go through it. Like, I had to feel everything that they do to us. I had to feel it. As I was saying before, it's no such thing as certain emotions like anxiety, depression, fear. These are things, and many other emotions. These are things that parasitic overlays that they place on us to get us to identify with these emotions, and therefore it is a siphon grab for them. So anytime you display those emotions, anytime you interact with those emotions, they siphon energy, because it's not of you, it doesn't belong to you. So just things like that. They would place nodes on me, implants. They tried to hijack my body at one time, fused with my spine, like real shit that was like very violating. That I was still able to hold my ground, did not allow them to and I gotta explain to y'all the process of how I even got through that. That whole thing was insane. It was insane. And at times I was even upset with my own spiritual team because I just feel like I wasn't being protected a lot. But I know better now, and it really ain't about, things are not always ideal. This path is not ideal. It's not like what you think it's supposed to be. It's going to be what it's supposed to be. Like what's going to be the best thing to catapult you, to to evolve you. What is the best thing? And it's not always pretty. And I am like the living, breathing experience of that. It's not always pretty what you're going to experience and what you go through. This path is not for the faint-hearted. You have to be like truly devoted, like I said, to disillusioning yourself, to peeling back the layers and seeing everything as it is in totality, and seeing yourself or embodying yourself in totality. So me, I'm very devoted to this path as far as embodying my true essence, my divine nature in totality, okay, within this human experience. And yes, it is possible to do so, but that being said, it ain't always going to be pretty. It ain't always going to be easy. So it's not for the faint-hearted. It's only for those that this is your makeup. This is your DNA structure. This is how you built, and that's fine. And for those that it's not for, that's fine. But so yes, during the process of everything as well, everything was stripped away from me. Everything that I thought I was, everything that belonged to me, I lost my home, my belongings. Like I said, my mother, I lost everything. I'm living off my savings. These parasitic entities that govern this grid attack my finances. They started telling me now I owe unemployment, which I didn't. They started sending me different bills left and right, like trying to place me in debt. And you have to understand, this is what a lot of these Hollywood characters go through as well. Like when they decide they don't want to go along with the programming or whatnot, these systemic grids, they start to attack your finances. They start to bully you, basically like bully you energetically, to try to get you to go to the crazy house or to get you to commit suicide. I did neither, and right now I'm still going through stuff with finances. I'm still in a position where I don't have a home. I had to learn a lot about my family members and just how people did me. People did me really dirty, but like they were being manipulated by them as well. People are not aware that their actions are not even their own many times. Like they have a hold and a grip on humanity. These parasitic entities, and that's just the nature. And that's how it go. But so that was like a whole thing. I stayed in a shelter for 2 weeks. I was staying in Airbnbs at first after I lost my place, and I was still living off what little savings I had and just trying to make it work. And I was trying to get my art business up and running, and I had a little bit of success, but then not a lot. It just seems like the economy right now, I don't know, it just seems like people are just, I'm not even going to place any emphasis on that. I'm pretty sure everybody knows how the economy is. But, it just didn't go the way it was, that I was trying to plan it for it to go. So I had to go and stay in a shelter for like 2 weeks. And I went through that process, and I would take a shower at a family member's home. And then eventually this family member allowed me to like stay with them at times, like, to stay there or sleep. But, it was just very enlightening also too, like the way that everyone treats you when they feel their disposition is better than your own. And to me, like I said, in another video, I just think that's so absurd, because you never know. You never know. You never know where you're going to be in life, and you just don't know. Really, we don't know. And that's just the truth of the matter of it. And I've been trying to even like get me a job, even right now, you know, just because I think the biggest thing for me through all of this is I've always been so independent, and being in another person's space, or sorry about the ambulance, being in another person's space, or just being in a type of predicament where you have to depend on another to a certain degree. To me, that's been hard for me. But this was also something like I had to lose a lot of pride, because through this process also I learned that I had a lot of pride, but unhealthy, crippling type of pride. And I've been dismantling, me and my spiritual team, we have been dismantling everything within my energetic field that is a hindrance or that I am not. And so that has been like a whole process that I've been undergoing, you know. And so yes, there's more that I want to touch on, but I'm looking at my time. For sake of time, I'm gonna stop it here, and then I'm gonna pick up again where I left off.